easy does it. Oopsie daisy. Come on. Woo. Hello, welcome to CATHROVISION, the video series bringing you all the behind the scenes insight and technical analysis from the downhill World Cup season. For round 5 we're finally heading out of Europe and across to French Canada, Mont Sainte to be precise. This venue has been in the World Cup circuit for over 28 years, but this majestic venue does not get old. I can't wait for it to get started. Coming into this round, everyone is excited to see Greg Minnaar finally back in action. He has podiumed at this venue 11 times in his career, so it'll be interesting to see if his freshly healed elbow is up to claiming another one. Another rider recovering from injury is Giadatin. Unknown to a lot of people, he actually crashed in Val di Sole and broke 2 bones in his wrist, and he just kept on riding like an absolute animal. So he raced Val di Sole and he raced Andorra with loads of hand supports, and it just proves what a beast he is. Miriam Nicole is also back in a bike after badly bruising her back in Andorra. She's already raced the French Championships the other week and claimed a podium there, so she should be back up to speed. There are 3 riders we won't see this weekend. Aaron Gwynn still out with his sore thumb. He is back home in California rehabbing, and hopefully he'll be back for World Champs. Emily Siegenthaler, she is also not going to be here. She badly dislocated her elbow at the French National Champs. Didn't look very nice. She won't be here this weekend. Also, Australian junior rider Sian Hearn, don't know if I pronounced that right, she badly broke her wrist and damaged a few ligaments with a nasty crash in Andorra, so she will not be racing. This episode of CATHROVISION is brought to you by 6 Skills Mountain Bike Coaching. This is a company that I run back home in Scotland. It specialises in delivering laid back but detailed coaching for riders looking to increase their knowledge, boost their skills and have a great time. If that's something that interests you, link is in the description, you can head over and check them out. That's enough talking. Let us go up this hill and check out the famous Mont Sainte track. Welcome to the Mont Sainte start ramp. This thing is famous. This thing's curvy. It's pretty loud up here. I'm going to go down and we'll start the chat proper away from this gondola station. I forgot how steep this was. So that start ramp gets riders up to speed so quick. They get a little bit of fresh grass, then immediately head to the restaurant. So riders sprint through the middle of the restaurant while people are sitting either side eating their poutine or whatever they eat over here. And just at the end of it there's a really steep roller, and the speed you're going is faster than gravity will allow you to go down. So pretty much if you don't brake you land too flat, and it is horrific. So riders will have to brake check before this and then pre-jump in to try and catch a bit of backside. Once you've negotiated the restaurant, the track then traverses across the hill on a piece of track you can see doesn't get used apart from at the World Cup. There's fresh grass everywhere and it's not really worn in. It's showing a lot of signs of rain damage. There's a lot of rain ruts running down it. Rocks are quite exposed, so it's going to take a few runs for the track to bed in. After the initial traverse of the track, the course then slots itself down through a gap in the trees. The track slaloms its way down through this open section with some lovely turns. But on this section of hill is where we start to find a bit of line choice and also some gnarly rock. Most of the rock here is kind of rounded and not too harsh, but some rock slabs poke through in a few spots, and these bits are much harsher, much more likely to puncture you. At high speed, these sections are risky. So I've not actually raced this section of the Mont Sainte track. Last time I was here was back in 2012. But when watching all the videos from the races, one of the coolest bits is this shark fin turn that you have to gap out of. Gap's a lot bigger in person than it looks on film. It's pretty high consequence as well. There is a rock that you have to clear. If you case it, your bike is toast. The track then comes down into what Mont Sainte is famous for. flat out straight line piece. The amount of speed you can carry down this is insane. I'm sure people were topping like 70, 80 kilometers an hour here last year. At those kind of speeds, you better hope you've got a good speed tuck, brakes that don't rub, and potentially some tailored kit with nice tight fitting trousers. A Canyon team. After blasting down the piece, through all the turns, over the shark fin, high speed straights, the track then drops into the first wood section. It's dark in here, not a lot of light penetrates through, it's often slippy, and it's a really tricky section. Let's go see what this looks like. Option of a gap here for the brave few. Off of that, gap it over into the berm. Oh, just realised I've not done a dirt check. Well, there's not that much to report. It's quite nice here. It holds together. When it dries out, it does get really loose and dusty. Well, let's have a look. It's quite sandy. Because of the sand content, it never really gets that sloppy here when it gets wet, which is good. But the rock is super slippy. As a contrast to like the coarse granite of Fort William, the rock here is a lot smoother, so when it gets moisture on it, riders are pinging about. Now this stuff is the proper A grade gnar of Mont Sainte. So many edges, gets so slippy when damp, it's very hard to hold a line without getting pinged about. Oh, hold up, I don't know what that is. It doesn't look natural. Beautiful concrete lip into a vicious rock garden landing. Lovely. Ooh, unknown coarse material number 2. So we had some concrete back up there. Now we've got a selection. We've got some breeze blocks. We have a breeze block with some wood in it, and we have a paving slab. Oh, delicious. Well, waste not, want not. Saving the planet one recycled breeze block at a time. After the first woods, the track comes back to some open, flat out piste, and this bit is unbelievable. Like, I've never ridden anything as straight, as steep, as rough and as fast as this. I mean, let's be honest, this just takes balls, big old balls. And I mean that in the figurative sense, not the literal sense, because some ladies, they got balls too. The things just get weird there. One of the real hard thing about tracks like this, where it's flat out and wide open, is just not worrying about the little things. Just looking at the general shape of the track and just trying to carry as much speed as possible. Because one year I was here and I was picking all these delicate lines through the wide open turns, getting it super smooth. And then Brendan Fairclough went past me about twice the speed with his foot off sideways. And I was like, oh, okay, right, you can go a lot faster. Here we go, we got our first big change now. Old track went straight down there. New track going in the woods. So this used to be 2 really, really rough, big, wide open turns. And now there's a bit of a chicane and a new wood section. So let's go check that out. We have a box fresh and crispy, straight out the packet section here. It looks like it's hardly been ridden. And first bit looks kind of awkward, a few kind of like pedal grabbing rocks, but then we got something severe around the corner. So it's pretty straightforward, even though it is massive, but most riders won't really struggle with that. They'll just float in off the top, no danger. It's pretty big. So you do the big old drop, straight down out of the trees, a new berm, and then you just join back onto the original track. Look at that sculpted berm. Ooh. So you have to ride down the first kind of like 3 meters of the almost vertical rock face, but halfway down at the end, got to pull up over the chunky bit and gap another 3 meters onto another near vertical bit of dirt. It's an impressive feature and a pretty good memorial. long live chainsaw. After negotiating Stevie Smith's drop, the riders then head down through the open. There's a few drops, a few bits where you got to pick your line to keep it as smooth as possible, help you carry speed, and then we drop into the famous woods, the rock garden woods. I've not been here in a while. I wonder if it's as brutal as I remember. It is worse than I remember. There's just so many square edges and nasty hits that just want to break your bike in here. It's brutal. Puncture there, smash wheel there, snap pedal there. Wild. So I'm in the final wood section. There's a few tricky drops here where you've got to be real precise, put your wheels in the correct place so you don't get slowed down by any harsh edges. Coming out of that final woods, riders are absolutely hanging. They've been racing for about 3.5 minutes. Their hands are pumped up, their legs are burning, their lungs are just gasping for air, and they got to ready themselves for this final bit, last bit before the finish. So you negotiate the final berm, the cross-country track step up, the 2 rock gardens, the new dirt step down, the final 40-foot double, and the sprint to the finish. And that, ladies and gents, is the Mont Sainte downhill track. I just can't get over how flipping fast it is. Cannot wait to watch it. So who's going to do well this weekend? I'm going to say... I think Lucas Shaw. I got a feeling. I reckon he's going to figure it out this weekend. And in the women's, Raquel Atherton. I reckon she's got it. So again, thank you to Six Skills for sponsoring this video. Don't forget, hit the link in the description if you want any coaching in Scotland. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, want to see more, subscribe, and I will see you in tomorrow's CATHROVISION. See you then. Peace out.